And the world was watching. Commonwealth leaders gathered in London for their biannual summit. And British Prime Minister Theresa May said her country plans to ban outright some of the most common plastic pollutants. Then she challenged the other 52 member nations to follow her lead. So, will Canada sign on?
I know that there'll be a lot of interest in Prime Minister May's proposal, and I look forward to that discussion at that time.
And that time, evidently, isn't now. It's in June, when Canada hosts the G7. Then we'll see if there's a Canadian commitment to follow in Britain's footsteps. But the scale of the ocean pollution is truly staggering. More than 5 trillion pieces of plastic debris. And as Evan Dyer shows us, that has life and death consequences.
In Spain today, scientists confirmed that this young sperm whale died because 25 kilos of plastic waste in its stomach and intestines meant it could no longer digest food. And on Midway Island in the middle of the Pacific, and thousands of miles from any city, marine birds are dying the same way. Today in Britain, the government of Theresa May announced that it will ban some single-use plastics like straws, coffee stirrers and Q-tips by the end of the year.
And improve the health of our oceans, creating a more sustainable Commonwealth.
A torrent of plastic garbage is pouring into the oceans from rivers around the world. In Indonesia today, the army was called in to clear a huge raft of plastic, blocking a river's path to the sea. Canada's pledged to make the fight against plastic waste the signature issue of its Group of 7 presidency this year.
We have a huge challenge. It's possible by 2050 we will have more plastics in our ocean than fish.
Today, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said he supports Britain's plastics cleanup initiative, an issue he discussed with May yesterday at number 10 Downing Street. But Britain's proposed ban on single-use plastic items goes beyond anything yet announced by the Trudeau government.
Sustainability.
Today, Trudeau was asked twice if he was ready to start banning objects like straws, but didn't answer directly.
We're going to look at a broad range of suggestions, consult a broad range of experts and scientists, and move forward decisively, not just as a single country, although Canada does have the longest coastline in the world, but hopefully as a global community on doing the kinds of things that are going to keep our oceans safe for future generations.
In fact, some developing countries are leaving both Britain and Canada far behind when it comes to fighting plastic waste. 2 countries whose leaders Trudeau met with privately here in London, Kenya and Rwanda, have introduced criminal penalties for using plastic bags, including potential jail time. Evan Dyer, CBC News, London.
As you heard, ocean plastic comes in all sizes. And in some parts of the world, you get scenes like this. This undersea voyage in waste was shot earlier this year by a British diver off the coast of Bali. Loads of plastic waste just floating there, like the jellyfish around it. It's pretty shocking, and not all of it stays at sea. Every year, the nonprofit group Ocean Conservancy holds an international coastal cleanup. Here's just some of the plastic they picked up last year. More than 1.5 million plastic bottles, close to 900,000 plastic bags, and more than 400,000 straws. And that's just a fraction of the estimated 1 billion plastic straws thrown away each and every day around the world. Here's Ron Charles now on the effort to reduce that kind of pollution here.
A plastic straw won't be an automatic feature of drinks at this Toronto restaurant on Saturday. It's joining about 130 other restaurants and bars that will go straw-free or only offer straws on request. It's a one-day grassroots awareness campaign Jillian Lucas and a friend started called The Last Straw.
Wanting us to be a little bit more conscious in the service industry of the plastic that we throw away, the garbage that we produce, and the straw is just so simple that we don't even think about it, but it's just such an easy thing to eliminate 99% of.
Why turn against straws? Here's one reason: the viral video of marine biologists removing a plastic straw from a sea turtle's nostril. Straws make up part of the millions of tons of plastic pollution that endangers aquatic life globally. There are alternatives, straws made of paper or biodegradable fibers. Some Canadian eateries have made the switch, but they can cost more than 3 times as much as plastic, a concern even for restaurants willing to participate in Saturday's campaign.
There's a cost factor. At this point, I think if more people drive the issue, we can bring those prices down.
Vancouver is driving the issue. The city government is discussing how to get businesses to reduce single-use plastic items like straws. But there's a good reason it has not opted for a complete ban. Mary Jo Federley sits on a disability advisory committee at City Hall.
It's kind of a health and a dignity issue. If I go out to a public restaurant and I can't hold a cup and I can't also get the cup to my mouth, the only way I can enjoy a drink of any sort is with a straw.
But for patrons of those 130 restaurants and bars in Toronto on Saturday, the hope is the last straw inspires an end to other throwaway plastic. Ron Charles, CBC News, Toronto.